Welcome back to the Ruby Girl Talk Show with your favorite Ruby Girl, Dr. K. It's that time. It's that time, y'all. Oh my God. I'm so excited tonight. Miss Cherie, did I say it right?
It's Shari. Hey, it's Shari.
Shari. There we go.
Yeah.
Shari. I knew it was something different, Miss Shari, because
Mhm.
I understand people mispronounce my name all the time. Usually I had gotten so used to it, I just answered to anything, long as it was
Yep.
close. But
Yep.
Miss
I do that too.
Shari is
Hmm.
our guest tonight. Her mama didn't put them extra A's in there for a reason. I actually love the spelling of her name. But tonight we're going to have a conversation that women we need to have. We
Hmm.
do a lot, but we don't know how to pause. We don't know how to rest until it gets to the point that we can't even breathe anymore. And so that's why I'm glad that she's on the show. She's a therapist, she's an author, she's a speaker. She's exactly what you need. But before we get started, what I'm going to do for her is I'm going to go on my Facebook page and I'm going to share this video so that everybody that's connected to her can make sure that they can also see this too. Because what she got to say tonight, everybody needs to hear, and it's going to help us as women to just slow down. I think we just trained to go at a 10 all the time. We don't know how
All
to
the
slow
time.
down. So let me tell y'all about the Ruby Girl brand before we even get started. So Ruby Girl comes from Proverbs 31 and 10. Who can find a virtuous woman, for her price is far above the price of a ruby? So ladies, I get excited because this special is for us. It makes us rare, valuable, and certainly, we know we're rare, virtuous, and valuable. There we go. We cannot
Ooh,
forget the value that we as women bring into the world. Because I always think about it like this, Miss Cherie. We were God's last creation. We did not
oh
come
my
from
God.
dust. Girl,
That's
He pulled
what's
us out the rib. We are a real bone. We are prime
up.
meat. You hear me? We're not hamburger. We're not dusty. We are prime rib. So, with that being said, ladies, let's get started with this interview. So I'm gonna have Miss Cherie to give us 30-second introduction. She's just gonna talk a little bit about who she is and what she does. Go ahead, Miss Cherie.
So, y'all, hey. I'm so glad to be on this episode with my fave, the Ruby Girl. And that is such an amazing thing to say that we are more precious than diamonds. We are rubies. Like, I love that. Good introduction. I am an attachment therapist. I am an author. I'm also a person that believes that our narrative has to change, our conversation has to change in order for us to move forward. So for me, I know that I got into this business in therapy because I found out that I had high functioning depression. And that led me down the road to figure out how to help other women who might not know what depression looks like, what anxiety looks like, what attachment looks like. So I'm here to help, to be a source of, if she can do it, I can do it. I'm here to talk to you about my book that tells women the journey of, we not lesser than. We have things that are important, and we have been taught so often to shrink down. I want us to glow up.
I love that. Glow up. And tell them
Mhm.
how they give them your website so they can get in touch with you.
Okay. So there are two websites. It's the first one is Faith, Faith, Soars, S as in Sam, OARS, counseling.com. The second one is Shaaree, Shaaree, McCalpine, MCCALPINE.com.
All right. She got two websites, y'all. You know she about the business when you got two websites. So,
That's
Miss
so funny.
Cherie, this
I
is what I
remember
like.
my
Uh-huh.
CPA when I first started getting involved with business, because we aren't taught money. Like, money is always a quiet story. It's not very authentic, or it's not spoken about. I remember being in spaces where we would have, like, remember, the people would come into our schools and talk about career day. My question was always like, how much do you make? What's going on with your finances? And the teacher would always be like, shh, you can't ask that. Like, why? Even to this day, when I look before I started looking for jobs, there's always this space where they have you the interview and you're like, hey, how much is the range? What's the amount of money? Because I don't want to waste your time or my time, but money always seems like a taboo. So
Mm,
money is very important in situations where you need to know how that looks in your life.
I like that. You're
Mm,
right. It's a lot of quiet conversation, especially in our
yep.
community. So
Hmm.
y'all might, I told y'all she's an author, she's a therapist of faith sort counseling.
Hmm.
So the one thing I like about you is you write books that help people outside of your practice. It's like you might not get to me, but if you read my book and if you do my workbook, then you'll get some of my counseling. So tell us about some of your books real quick.
Okay. So, my books are workbooks, and I don't want to say workbooks because I don't want you to be thinking in terms of one more thing I have to do. These are books that have you to invest in yourself and figure out what's my next step. Because we sometimes, I remember being in spaces where people would be like, oh, this is how you got to do this, you got to do this. Even in church, they'd be like, oh, the Lord said do this, but nobody ever was like, how? I always was confused, like, how? How do I do it? I hear the message, I hear the words, but how? So my books, journaling, books to help you to understand who you are, those books give you tools so that you can understand the how. How do I do it? We make things so difficult. Like people like, oh, I hate writing. I don't want to sit down and have to put my thoughts out. There are so many different ways of journaling. Like my journal, you can color, you can take pictures outside and paste them in the book. We have all these $1,000 phones. Use them for something to edify yourself. You can take pictures of things that you walk in and you think, oh, this bird is beautiful. This flower is beautiful. Take a picture of it, print it out, and put it in your journal and talk about how I felt when I saw this bird.
That's good. That's good. Give me some names of some books.
So the first one is Reflect and Release. There's one that's called Love Notes, which is Love Notes 1 and 2. Um, there's also the Girls Companion book because our girls are struggling. If I had had some information to help me as a child, I would have loved that. And sometimes we put so much pressure on mothers that I don't know what to do. So I'm giving you a companion to help you to understand when a child is in their room by themselves. What do you do? When they don't want to talk, how do you get them to get to that point? So and I need to think of something different than a workbook because it's not a workbook. It's a companion to help you to navigate and maneuver. I also got a whole book for our boys. It's called a playlist, a playbook, and it's structured like they play games, football, they play softball. So it's a playbook on how to help them with their mental health. The final book is the I Close My Eyes to Breathe, which is my love letter to me. It is a fictional journey with our girl Keisha, who was the main character, that takes us through steps of how to feel safe, how to
Mm,
feel loved. What patterns are we repeating? All because we've been taught these things, unlearning the things that no longer suit us.
mm. So one thing in your introduction that I wanted you to explain, you talked about attachment. You said you was high functioning depression, and usually people think when you're depressed, that's where you stop functioning at. Could you kind of explain what high functioning depression is and what does attachment mean?
Yeah, so those are two different levels of functioning. So the first one is depression. In our community, we only see images of people who can't get out the bed, hair all over the place, tripping. But in our community, the brown and black community, we don't have the luxury of laying in the bed all day. So it's not going to look like what we see. So our pattern is we function at a high level. We have to get things done. I'm not going to go to work and not get my job done because I don't want to get fired. I need this job. So even though I'm in a depressed state where I need safety, I need security, I need help, I still am able to navigate what all I have to do because I know the goal is to make sure that my kids are taken care of, I'm taken care of, we got somewhere to live. So that's what high functioning depression and anxiety looks like. It looks like we're still doing what we have to do, but inside it's like, oh my God, I can't do this anymore. It's got to be something better. I hate it here. Every day you wake up onward functioning of I just want to do something else, but I don't know what else to do. So that piece is what that looks like. Attachment is something that we never was taught or learned or even have conversations about. We have levels of how we were secured. You heard about when kids they wrap you up and swaddle you and you
Yeah.
feel comfortable, you're not crying.
Yes.
But there is a level of how you were parented. There might be a space for attachment that says, when I was crying, my mother or my father or my caregiver ran to me and made sure that, am I diapered? Am I clean? Do I need anything? That's the secure that I know whenever I need something, that somebody is there to help me through that piece. There's also a level when people wasn't. They just let you cry and most of us, Black women, we had to be so independent. Like, and that was a badge of honor. Like, oh my gosh, she don't need a lot. She going to school, she gonna get her grades. I don't have to worry about this one. And that's the one that you definitely need to worry about because then we grow up to be high functioning and our cycles continue on to our children and to our relationships. So knowing what your attachment style is so very important to being able to move differently.
That's good. Like I said, I've never heard of the word attachment before, but when you was explaining high functioning depression, I I could honestly relate some of the words that you said. I remember being in a space and I was like, I want to do something different. I don't know. It's a lot of if you notice when you really talk to women, it's a lot of I need clarity. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know why this not working. It's a lot of that. It's like you say, the church tell us the what do you say? The church tell us the what? The
The scriptures, they tell us, like, okay,
yeah.
this is the promise, this is what you're supposed to do. And if you follow this, if you read the Bible, if you connect the promise, I'm doing all those things. I'm praying. I'm doing that. But nobody ever says the how to. What is the link of reading the Bible, doing what I'm supposed to do, and then it's always that back end of then. What do I do different and how do I do it? All I've known is what I saw my mother do. Maybe I know what my grandmother told me to do. Maybe, and I don't want to exclude fathers, but there's always this space where we repeat cycles. I saw my mother do it, and you heard conversations where people be like, my mother was so strong, she did it, so I know I should be able to do it.
Yes,
Which
yes.
and builds you up to be like, if I can't do it, now I feel like I'm inadequate. How was she able to do it and I wasn't? And the
Mm,
fact of the matter is, she wasn't either, but she had to.
And you're right, because you know what? I remember when I was dating in 1976, and and guys be like, "You're so independent," and I
Mm-hmm.
thought it was a bad thing. But you know what, Cherie? It was I had to be independent to survive. And this is how we get into your book. So her newest book is I Close My Eyes to Breathe. It's about unlearning survival and becoming whole. So a lot
Yep.
of women are in survival stage, meaning I gotta do this, this needs to be done, or else my bills are not paid, or this is not done. And so I was just in survival mode because I've always had to depend on myself. I didn't have a mom or dad to go back to, no home to go back to. I
Hmm.
worked three jobs at one time so that I could maintain a household. And when I did end up homeless for like a few weeks, I figured everything out. It was
Hmm.
like I always was in, okay, what's next? What I got to do to survive? I never depended on anybody. Nobody ever paid my, yeah, I felt like it was just me. So I
Yeah.
survived. And so now it's like, how do you thrive? It's hard to move from that. So tell us the difference between, and I probably did, surviving and thriving. Let's talk about this book, girl.
Okay. So the book literally takes our girl Keisha, who is my main character, through her waking up one day. Her kids are they're not out of control, but they're doing the same things that they always done. They're rushing out of the house. They're trying to, it's not a settled situation, it's chaotic. So it starts with that. But we are talking about our hierarchy of needs. And I don't think that we've ever had a conversation. I know I didn't know until I got into school what those needs were: safety, security, belongingness, self esteem. So we are walking through each one of those levels of what you need in order to feel like a person who is thriving and who is moving through life. And when we say thriving, I feel like those words are just thrown around a lot. Like they're
Yeah.
like it's buzzwords. It's like, oh, thriving. And you'd be like, yeah, I'm thriving. I'm successful. I'm doing the things I can do what I want to. But that doesn't necessarily heal the hurts that you feel at night when you go to sleep, right? So the book gives you tools to help you with the why. Like I told you, I never had that space of the why and how. I would tell my friends like I'm drowning. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm cycling, but we be around the same people that is us. Like all my friends is me. We all have the same things that we got to do. We all have the same conversations. We don't typically step out into other situations to see what other people are doing at higher levels. So I'm given tools in the book to be able to let you know that you are not alone. There is a space where you have to change your mind of what you was taught. There's a story that I always go back to, which is so good. It was a mother, they having dinner, Thanksgiving dinner at the house, and the boyfriend bring a girlfriend over, and they like, okay, help us with dinner, everything. So the mother is cutting the back of the ham off, slicing the back. And she like, why y'all do that? My family don't do that. Like we just put it in the pan. She like, I mean, that's what my mama did before me. They called the grandmother, asked her why. They asking the great grandmother why. She told them, oh, that ain't a tradition. I just did it because when I was younger, the ham didn't fit in the pan, so I cut it off. So they turned that into a tradition. So we do so many things that we don't even know why we doing it. So that's what the whole book is, to understand if you doing something, if you in a cycle, why are you doing it? So through Keisha's flashbacks of trying to understand, why am I doing this? She starts to connect to her mother and her environment of what that looks like. You can't change or get into something different if you don't know where it came from. So that's what my whole gist of the book, and even in counseling, is to help people change narratives and understand, where did it come from? Do it still serve you?
You know, it's funny you say that. When I first got saved and I was going to this church, God put me in my word right away because doing new membership class, girl, I was correcting the teacher. And I was right. That's the funny part. So I started like, why do we sing the same song every Sunday? Why every
Exactly.
Sunday school we sing Jesus is on the main line? He don't get off the main line. Then I was like, well, why do we do this? And why do we always do this? And you know what my pastor would say? We're Baptists. We always did this. I
Mhm.
was like, why do we always do this? I mean, we
Yeah.
can't sing another song. So when I
Mhm.
would, do a program or something, I would be a little off the norm because I felt like God's spirit he's always doing a new thing. And I
Mhm.
feel like it was becoming a ritual, some of the things that we're doing. But you're right. So a lot of our things that we do in our life is learned behavior. And we
Mhm.
learn from a child, from the people that's around us, but we never stop and process. And I feel like your book is saying, close your eyes, assess, breathe, and figure out, why are you so strongly in survival mode? Do you need to be in survival mode? Is it time for
Mhm.
you to come out? Have you got to the level to where your bills are paid, you got overflow, you got all your needs met? Why are you still working like you only
Mhm.
make $5.69 an hour? But
Yeah.
you're right. But we as women of color,
Mhm.
we have a different type of struggle because we always feel like for our men, we have to be strong for them because the world comes out to them so hard, you
Yeah.
know. And then in the workplace, we have to be extra,
Yeah.
where this one lady might need just a bachelor's. We need two masters and a PhD to even be comparably paid to her. I've
You don't
seen
remember
it.
the conversations? I know for me, I've heard before of you got to be twice as good as they are.
Yeah.
So there's been so much stuff that's been like blankets of things that we start to take in and it's absorbed. You got to be twice as good as them. Oh, you know what? You got to support your man because their mental health and they need so much. The world is so unkind to them. All that stuff may be true, but it's not your responsibility. If that man is, he got to handle his thing because now I can't also handle me, handle the kids, handle the world, and now I still have to come home and handle your shortcomings or whatever the world is doing to you.
Yeah.
Like we can't be expected to do all these things and then not have the security or the love or the embracement for self. It's just not a fair thing to happen. So when you see so many women breaking down or being in therapy or having to figure out how do I do the next level, I'll just stay where I'm at. So people be like, oh, that's just fear. Of course, it's fear because there's
Yeah.
nobody that if I shoot an arrow at you, you just gonna fall. There's nobody that's gonna be there to catch you. So you have
Yeah.
to start really understanding what things have you stuck in place, running on a treadmill. What things have you learned or embraced or said, this is my reality that you are stuck in? And that's what my piece is all the time with attachment is to understand where are you stuck? What wound are you stuck in?
Mm.
So yeah,
You
you
know,
can't be all things for everybody.
it's funny how you say we have to be there for our men. Nobody ever talks about the support that we need as black women.
Mhm.
Oh, we're known as being just strong. Oh, you take care of the kids, y'all single mothers. We might
Mhm.
have grew up without a dad, then our children don't have a dad. Our mom didn't, it's like over and over. Nobody, like you said, there's nobody there for me. I've always and still feel like that at times that don't get me wrong, my family will be there for me, but I have personally always felt like what happens in my household, I am responsible for. And I need to be strong enough to maintain it. If I go ask somebody for help, to me, that's a sign of weakness.
Mhm.
Even if
Yeah.
I have to, like I said, I was working three jobs. I was working midnights, days, and trying to party then. That's when I was in my 20s. And then I worked on the weekends too. I had the nerve to be in the club at 2 o'clock, and I done worked days and
Girl, you
midnights
know,
all
we
week,
all did
girl.
that and then was like, get home at 3 and then got to be back up at work
Yes,
at 7.
girl. When I was working days and midnights, I would wake up and be like, "It's 8 o'clock." And see, back then, We didn't have internet, anything like that. You
Right.
no phone, so you couldn't look at your phone and know if it was AM. So I would sit there and look at TV and be like, "Oh, it's in the daytime," because especially in the summer when it's light at 8 and it's light at 8 at
Yep.
night too. And I'll sit there like, "Oh, okay, it's morning. Let me get up and go to work." I'll be like, "Oh, it's evening." My clock was so thrown off, but you know what? I knew I had to do what I needed to do because when I left home, I was told you couldn't come back. So that
Mm,
meant I couldn't thrive. I didn't have time for that. I
hmm.
had to make it happen. So we're going to take a break. So
Okay.
we're going to take 60 seconds where I'm going to let you say whatever you want to say for 60 seconds. I'm going to go on Facebook. I'm going to see what social media is saying about us. They making comments. Y'all better hurry up and start typing now. Come on, y'all. And so, Miss Cherie, I'm going to give you 60 seconds. I'm going to turn the show over to you. Can you handle it, girl?
Girl, the
Can
way
you
I
thrive
talk,
with it?
no,
All right,
that
go
girl
ahead.
always talking. The main thing I want for people to understand is what shaped you, what defined you, what lessons was put into you does not define who you are right now as an adult. Those things can be rewired so that you are able, and again, we just need to change narratives, conversations, and actual definitions. We believe so much rhetoric that it gets stuck in our mind and we start believing it as a truth. So, my thoughts and my assignment is to make sure that we change the conversation so that it doesn't show up in a way that's harmful.
That's good. Give us your website.
Again, it's Shar. Oh, I'm talking about Shar. That's because everybody call me Shar. It's Shaaree, Shaaree, McCalpine, MCCALPINE.com. And it's Faith, FAITH, Soars, S as in Sam, OARS, counseling.com.
Girl, I felt like you was Aquila for a minute. Aquila and the Bee. You
That's
was
one of
spelling
my
it
favorite
out.
movies because
Is
growing
it?
up, the spelling bee, the Scholastic Book Fair, all those things was my zhush. Like you could not get me not to read a book, not to be in a library, not to watch a television show. Girl, Aquila and the Bee, I'm like, yep, yep, I remember that. I remember that. I love, love, love. And I want us to get back to the space
Yeah,
of what was it that you loved? Because you so busy doing all the busy things
yeah,
that you don't really take time to be like, oh, I used to love swimming. I wanted to learn how to sew. Maybe I want to take a piano lesson. Those things just don't happen anymore because we are so pressed into, oh, I got to make sure that my kid get everything they need.
yeah.
They
You're
don't need nothing but some water and some food and some love. And
Ah, if they were like us, you wouldn't even have to put the water in the cup. Just give us a hose to drink out of.
yeah.
So let me tell you who's out there watching. We got Ty in the house. She said, "Good evening, ladies." Hey, Ty,
Anytime.
Lashandra. She's out there. Hey, girl. She said, "Yes, survival mode. Exactly." We got some more people out there watching. I see y'all, Deborah, Catherine. I see y'all out there watching. Thank you for watching so much. And make sure you share. Please make sure you share because we're coming up on the second part of the show. And so we're talking about Miss Cherie's book, I Close My Eyes to Breathe. When you just think about that part right there, you think about closing your eyes. There's been moments where it was something so heavy that it's like, you
Yeah.
know, and it helps you process what you're going through a little bit better. And so
Yeah.
she said, we got to unlearn how to survive and we got to become whole. We don't know that we walking around in pieces sometimes. We're
Mhm.
functioning, we're getting things done because of we have people have such expectations for us as women of color. We're not
Exactly.
allowed to be weak. We're not allowed to fail. But if you look at how we operate, we're getting the multiple degrees and taking care of the family families and doing it by ourselves and holding up our husband and going to work and being underpaid. Listen, and we're
Mhm.
doing all this, so why would they think we would show up any different? So, do you find that most women of color operate from survival mode? And then, how do we even end up in survival mode?
So again, that's the whole thing. Like we say the word survival mode, but people are just being people. We are just doing what we know how to do and move through it. So it's not like I'm ever going to think, oh, I'm surviving. No, of course I'm surviving. If I'm not surviving, I'm dead. So the real practical piece that I want to put out there is the things that show up that tell you that you're in survival. One of the things when you were talking about just closing your eyes and breathe, I know that there has been spaces where you, me, have been in the driveway. When you pull in a driveway and you just sitting there for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, because you're not ready to get out and face whatever is on the other side of the door, whether that's a family, kids, just cleaning up, all those pieces where I just got to sit here for a minute and kind of regulate my system. That's what that looks like. So survival looks so different. The word, like when I told you when I was in high functioning depression, I told the psychiatrist, absolutely not, because I can get up, I go to work, I can take care of my kids. So what he was describing was foreign to me. So everybody's survival is going to look different. Survival looks like you want to do something different, but you don't know how to. Survival looks like my mother did it, so I'm going to do the same thing. Like you don't have any new tools, any new thoughts on how to change things.
Mhm.
Right now, I'm just doing what I know how to do. The book therapy, it gives you new strategies to say, well, let me try this. Let me see what this looks like, new perspectives, because we don't often get that. All we get is, yeah, go on and get it done. Don't nobody say, how do you get it done? So you like, okay, well, that's how she did it. I'm gonna figure out how to do it. We always in survival. I think I might want to change the word when I'm doing my next chap book or paper to change survival to this is how it's always been done.
Mm.
This is how I know how to do it. So, in answer to your question, survival, the word looks like pattern. I'm
Mhm.
in a pattern. I'm on a hamster wheel. I'm just going around and around and around. So, yeah, survival looks like I'm doing this I have the same day every day.
Oh wow, that's deep. Girl, you counseling me tonight. And so I remember being on that hamster wheel, working
Mm-hmm.
a job that had the fun, the usefulness in my life had ran out years ago, but there was fear because I'm like, where do I start off at? Even though this is what it is, it's still some good things. It almost became you get so stuck that it's like wherever you stuck, it becomes an abusive relationship.
Yep.
You're
Mm-hmm.
so used to it, but you're scared to get out of it. You rather
Yep.
stay in a known place. Well,
Yep.
I know the suffering I'm gonna go through on this. I know
Right.
how I'm gonna get treated here. I know how this person gonna speak to me versus
Mm-hmm.
getting out and finding a healthy place. But when you stay in an unhealthy place for so long, you don't believe that you will ever walk into a healthy place again. It's like people that's always been sick since they've been born, they can't see wellness. And I thought about something as we were talking. A lot of us women of color, we have like autoimmune diseases that are just unique to us, our race, and to women. And I started thinking, I said, could it be because we carry things that we shouldn't carry, that we're
Mm-hmm.
in cycles that mentally are wearing us down, but we don't even know it? We just think this is what life is. Like we were taught, get a job, stay in a job until you retired. But that was when we have pensions. We don't
Right.
have pensions anymore. So we need to move a little bit different, but we don't know how to move differently because we only move according to what we've been taught.
Exactly. Girl, you is preaching to the choir. It is an absolute thing where I literally have to force people to change their minds. even when we talk about the Lord, he had them walking around the desert for 40 years because they weren't willing to change their mind. And it's a scary thing to leave a space that you know, okay, I've been set in this space. I know how to deal with it. If this happened, I know how to duck, I know how to dodge. I'm okay with this. I'm comfortable in this space. I know if my abusive husband come in the house, I know he gonna feel this way. I'm making preparations to be okay in this space, my safety. So when we say change what's going on, it's a hard thing to do because you've been taught. That's why I said unlearning behaviors and patterns is hard. We was taught like, oh my God, this is the pattern. You get a job, you go to school, you stay in that job, don't be job hopping, don't leave
Hmm.
your good government job. And now, because things are changing so rapidly, we are stuck in the space of what do I do? That's the anxiety, that's the thought. But we are definitely being forced to unlearn some patterns of behavior and change how we are moving for our next generation. Because they not in that space. They wasn't taught like this the
Hmm.
blueprint. You go, you do this, and this. They like, oh no, I'm not about to be sitting in no desk for 8, 9, 10 hours and for what? Like, but then that gives us anxiety because it's like, no, this is what we were taught. The things that we were taught served each generation before us. Right now, it doesn't serve the version of you of who you are. That's why it's so much mental health problems going on, so much anxiety. There are people who definitely are figuring out problems that haven't even that's not even there. I'd be like, you said what? That problem never has occurred yet, and you are trying to figure out ways to navigate through a problem that doesn't exist. So, for me, unlearning behaviors that we were taught is such a big thing. And it's not that our parents were wrong, our caregivers were wrong. It's the fact that they needed that in that space. You know how the Lord say new wineskins,
Yes.
that what happened back then was okay for back then. Right now, that doesn't fit for us in this generation. It just doesn't. We have to now figure out, and it's not a bad thing to work for somebody. It's definitely not. But
Yeah.
sitting down, figuring out who you are is so hard for people right now. It's like, I don't want to do that because we don't want to look inward, and
Hmm.
that's why I wrote the book to give you tools to help you to look inward before you do anything. That's what it starts with, is to say, I'm tired of this and I need to do something different.
Well, I hear the counselor and everything that you say. I hear the healing that comes from you. Counselors are nothing but healers. They help people to see situations different. Y'all like the drone in every situation. Y'all up high, y'all can see the whole angle. We're just down here, going through it. And because when I finally decided to go to therapy, it has helped me a lot. It was a lot of things I was struggling with in my past, but my therapist helped me to see a whole different perspective. Our minds is something different.
Yeah,
Like for me, I have been trying to figure out clarity in my life because what I've done for 24 years, I don't want to do it anymore. I have the opportunity to start all over the life I always wanted, but I find myself like you need to stick with what you did. But then I was like, I didn't like what I did. So it's like two people fighting. Now, come on, let's
yep,
do something that you really want to do. Well, I don't know if I can stand on that, but I know if I go back over here, yeah, I'm miserable, but I only got so many years before. So it's funny how our inner mind struggle like that. When you have the door open that you prayed to open, it's finally open. You like, nah, let me go back over here. You look and you see things,
exactly.
and I think a lot of of it is we're imprisoned by fears, and some of it is not our fears. It's fears that's been through coming through generations. I remember we couldn't work. You hear, especially when we hear the old stories and stuff like that. Like me and my grandmother, between us, we had $600 coming into the household when I was growing up. So we were very poor, had the most raggedest. We lived in the raggedest house on a bus route and all that stuff like that. And so it's still a lot of things that shape me now that came from my
Yep.
childhood that I'm like, okay, you don't live in the raggediest house right now, but I'm still on alert when people come over. I want everything to be so perfect because I used to be embarrassed when somebody did come, which I never invited, that the house the way it looked. So we have to learn to release some things. We need to close our eyes tonight. And I want y'all to put in the chat, are you thriving or are you surviving? Let's be real. Are you
Mhm.
thriving or are you surviving? It's time for you to do what you were created to do. That's why I believe thriving is when you see people like you, people that are counselors, they getting the knowledge. It's like it's effort. They don't mind going back for the degree. They don't mind sitting and listening to people. But for me, every day I went to work was like, I'm here. What time I'm getting off? And I just got there, haven't even ate breakfast. But for you, it's like you live, you breathe it, you talk it, you write it. It's just you because you're thriving in what you were called to do. So that's what most people are looking for. What am I called to do? So I want you to elaborate on one thing that you discuss in your book that helped women move from survival to thriving. Help
Mhm.
us. We need help.
Okay. Listen, I didn't start off like this. And that's the thing that I think we get lost in sometimes. We look at people that we feel like are doing the thing and we get lost in, oh, well, I could never be like that. Baby, I remember needing getting working 80 hours and then still being short $100 and have to borrow $100 for the light bill. I remember all of those pieces. I remember being so angry that I'm almost getting fired. I remember being so happy to get a job that I was praying for, and then sitting 4 years later, like, I hate being here. So, what I want people to start to understand is to do things in such a small increment. Like, you don't have to go out and be like, I'm leaving right now. And no, figure out what it is that you like. The Lord already put it in us. Like, I knew from day one that I liked writing. I knew that I liked talking to people. I really feel like I remember you might have been one of the A3 people. Like, they would give the report card and it would be all A's and then all threes. Threes would mean like you talk too much, do you have a discipline problem? Like, I would be sitting at my desk, finished with my work, and I look and be like, Karron, are you finished? And then they'll be like, Presley, quit talking. You talk too much. You talk too much. I heard that so much in my life, even through relationships, how people would feel like you always got something to say. You talk too much. And now I know that that was a gift. We
Mhm.
don't get those kind of conversations. The gift was not you talk too much, but I'm putting this in you to build something that you are able to help people through your conversation, through your words. And now I know that, but everybody has that. But because we are so busy, and that's the survival mode of struggling to say, I got to get this done. I got to get this done. There's so much pressure on Black women to be everything for everybody. You don't have to be. Them kids gonna be all right. That job gonna be all right. I remember like I was working 80 hours at the unemployment office. I decided when I had my son, like, I hate working there. I want to stay home and play with him. Got on the system, welfare, absent daddy club, whatever they call it, but I was still able to make things shake and be at home and be safe. I really just want people to understand that you are safe and to let go of the things that you feel like define you, your job, money, being the best mother. I'm going to go home. I'm going to go without clothes. I'm going to go without food to make sure that my kids have what they need. that don't serve nobody's purpose. It don't.
Mhm.
My mama did this and that. It doesn't serve the purpose to let kids not see you as a human being. Like, oh no, I'm not gonna cry in front of my kids. We're not gonna argue in front of our kids. That doesn't serve you. The thing I'm saying now is that too many of us are living in a shelter because we feel like we owe everybody a piece of us.
Mhm. That was deep. That was really deep.
Yeah,
You're
it's,
right. I feel like it's so much pressure on us as black
it's so
women.
much pressure.
Y'all,
It
if
is.
y'all believe, if y'all agree, put pressure. It's
It's
so
pressure.
the expectations for
Mm-hmm.
how we show up is so high, but how we're valued is so low.
So low. Mm-hmm. So
You
you
know,
really have to start to value yourself. And that's a bigger piece. And that's like in chapter 10 to figure out how everybody be like, oh, know your worth, know your worth. Sometimes you do know what your worth is, but
yeah,
then you go to work every day and somebody is beating you down and telling you that your worth, you start to really take that in,
yeah.
you know. People are like, oh no, if you this age and you got kids, then you never gonna get married. Like all of those perceptions are not true. We live in such a world of illusions. I tell
Mm,
people every day, what are you talking about? People are getting married. There's $1 billion companies that thrive on flowers, wedding plannings, none of those things shut down. So your mind telling you that you can't get married is insanity. And then figure out why is that a thing for you to, if you really want to, that's cool. But are you just doing that because again, that's another layer that an expectation put on you that you have to do. I really just want people to get out of the pressure of expectations of what other people want for you.
yeah, a lot of us are living from what's our parents expected of us,
Yep.
instead of I think if we sit down, and I love this, and we close our eyes and say, what expectations do I have for
Mm-hmm.
myself? What
Yep.
do I want to do? What would I do if I didn't care what people think? If I didn't care about people's expectations? If it was just if God opened the door and say, anything you want to do, anything you want to be, you can be. What would I do for myself? Who would I really
Mm-hmm.
become? And a lot of times we don't know because we have adjusted to what everybody wants us to be. Like I
Yep.
remember I was always smart in school if I wanted to be. And so that was the key if I wanted to be. And so my family was like, they wanted me to go to college. Because, back then, during our generation, it was expected to go to college because the generations before us didn't get to finish school and all that.
Yep.
So I wanted to take a year off and then go to college. And my family was like, no, you're going right to college and everything. So anyway, I ended up moving out and I was going to college and I quit. So for years, I kept trying, I kept trying, but I just couldn't do it. And so I always felt like I disappointed my family. I always felt like less than because I would see my other little cousins behind me go get their degree. I never felt like worthy because I didn't
Yep.
get my degree. So when I finally got my degree, I got it just before one of my cousins passed. And I know she really wanted me to get my degree. And so I felt such an accomplishment like I finally did it. I'm finally, pleasing my family and everything. And it gave me some self worth because I kind of stayed away from my family because I felt like I had just disappointed them.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I was loving the life I was living, I was working two jobs. Because this is my thing. I might as well go work two jobs and make the money instead of going to school and spend the money. But you know what? If I had went to school, I had a full ride, 100%
Mm-hmm.
grants. I wouldn't they would have paid me to go to school, but I wasn't smart. So for years that weighed up on me. And so when I
Yep.
finally got the degree, I was like, okay, I'm there. But it's always some other expectation that has been laid on you that you have to meet. I just want us as women, black women, to be free from the expectations of our husbands, our work, everybody, and just be tied to the expectations that God have for us in our life.
Yep. And it just takes time. We always think about, and that's another chapter about resting. Resting is not just about let me lay around on the couch, let me just go on vacation for 3 or 4 days. that doesn't clear your soul of what you've been through for 20 years. 3 days is not going to do anything. You really have to sit down when people be like, oh, I'm just investing in me. I'm trying to figure out who I am. I'm always leery and side eye about that. Like, I'm taking time for me. What does that mean? Like, what does that mean? You taking time for you? You about to go get your nails done? Like, that's maintenance.
Mm-hmm.
You can do that. But what I want to know is, have you sat down and literally asked yourself, what hobby do I like? What did I do growing up that I still want to invest in? What attachment? Like when people talk about love languages, that's a big thing. Like, oh, you know what? My love language is words of affirmation. That literally tells me that you have an attachment wound that says that you need somebody to validate you. So nobody is talking about, and that's my job to make it louder, that let me heal and help you heal the wound that is there. If you need somebody to give you words of affirmation, you should be giving yourself those words, but that tells me that there is a space or a need that you didn't get that. And now you need that space or that void to be filled. Or physical touch. Oh, I need physical touch. That means that nobody held you or told you you were safe when you was falling apart. So those things, when you go to my website, there's a quiz on there that lets you know what your attachment style is and what the wound is. So it's a big piece, but in the book, it gives you so much clarity because not only is it written in narrative style so that you can connect with it. And I'm so blessed that the people who have gotten the book, because I like money, of course, but this wasn't the thing for money. The Lord literally told me to write this book. I'm telling you. But there's been, and I think I told you that I sent out chapters and ARC readers, and they was like, oh my God, I connect with Keisha. I am Keisha. Hashtag girl. Malcolm called me, which is another love interest of Keisha. But anyway, oh, I got a Malcolm in my life, and it just is like, okay, it resonates, but then there's also tools to help you to understand what that looks like and how you can change it. In therapy, you've been in therapy, I've been in therapy. I don't tell you what your life is supposed to be like. I'll walk with you with your life and give you different perspectives because we have been so inundated with the things we learned from 0 to maybe 17.
Mm-hmm.
And now at our big grown age, we still stuck at, I had to walk my sisters to school and be responsible for
Yeah.
cooking at 9. So just changing just little pieces of, I don't have to be responsible for nobody else. My whole thing is being considerate, the consideration for self. We don't do that. Like when we move into houses, if you move in with somebody, maybe you wanted a whole orange couch, but you had to consider what somebody else needed.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you wanted to eat some potato chips for dinner, but the kids got to eat, so I can't just have potato chips. So if I can leave you with anything, is to consider self and then move forward with what other people need from you.
Wow, that sounded like the 2 minute close I was going to tell you to give us. So go ahead, since you said that and you on the roll, go ahead and give us a 2 minute close. Make sure you give them the website and how they can get the book. But wait a
Okay.
minute before you, well, you go ahead and get started. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go on your website as you talk so they can take a peep around your website. But go right ahead.
Okay. So, like I just said, there has been so many spaces where I needed somebody and I won't say they weren't there, but so many times when you are the person who is strong, that people rely on, you go to work, you're high functioning, people borrow from you, they need you, then you get lost because you don't have anybody to say, you safe, I got you. This is what I do, this is what my books do. It helps you to understand that you are in a safe space and you don't have to rely on things that happened previously. I want you to understand what your attachment is, what your wound is, and how to not just cover it with a band aid, but to actually clean the wound out and move forward in life. I love you all to pieces. I would have never known this was my lot in life if I had not been almost fired from my job or for being in a space that I felt was anger. And it really was just a space of survival and trying to make things make sense. I tell everybody all the time, you cannot make sense of nonsense. So don't even try to do it. If y'all need me, I am at faithsourcecounseling.com. My website is ShaareeMcCalpine.com. I go to different places and do workshops and help people to maneuver and navigate their attachment because attachment rules everything in your life from love to relationships, all your ships, work ships, relational ships, family ships, all your ships need to be covered, but you have to be the one to start the flow. You have to start by yourself, but you don't have to do it alone. I love y'all for real, for real. Mama.
We feel the love. We
Right,
feel
right, right.
the love.
I
All right.
appreciate you, girl. You out here doing your thing. Look at you. I
Girl,
can't wait
look.
to see your glow up,
Ah!
your next best version of you. If you don't shrink back because of fear or because of I don't know what it looks like. Like if we really think about it, we have never done anything that didn't look like we didn't know what to do. We get comfortable because I've been in this job for 10 years. I know exactly what it looks like. I've been in this relationship for 5 years. But if you look at how it started, you didn't know. When you walked in that job, and they was like, come work here, you had no idea of what that looked like. So now it's the next version. I don't know what it looks like, but I know I want something different. I know that I want to be in a space that makes me happy. Right now, the whole thing for everybody is to start to understand what joy and happiness looks like. That's what thriving is. Waking up, sitting on your porch with your coffee. I never knew when I used to watch those movies, the grandmother, they making a garden and they like, oh, I'm just so happy. I'm like, that seemed boring to me. That's weird. But now it's a whole thing, sis. I cannot wait for y'all to glow up.
It's funny. The next part of Ruby Girl is glow, God level only. Just
Girl,
glow.
not us
It's
close.
glow.
And y'all, I did not know nothing about that. I
It's
promise
glow.
you. I never
You can
knew. And you
if
can
you
look at
search
any
on
of
my
my
page,
stuff.
you gonna
None of my stuff say nothing about glow. It just the spirit. I promise you. Come on, sis.
Yep, I even started on the book called God Level Only Glow. So yeah, that's the next Ruby Girl level. You
I
know
love
you're a Ruby Girl. Now it's time for you to go to the next level, to know what a Ruby Girl is supposed to do, how to live your life, how to thrive. So yes, God sent you to be my guest tonight to give me that word. And
I
it's a
love it.
word that I needed to hear that touched my heart because sometimes I'm trying to figure out where am I at, I'm 15 years old, and yep, that was bleeped out on purpose. And so I'm at an age where here I am, I'm starting over. I don't know where to start. I don't know what my next is. I know I don't want to do what I used to do. Where do I fit in now? And then it was just so much uncertainty. I can tell y'all I've been off work 6 months. I've enjoyed being off work 6 months, but it's been a lot of mind healing that I knew that I needed. A lot of soul searching, like you do a lot of things, but what is it that you're supposed to do? Sometimes it's hard being creative. It
Yeah,
is because you do so
it
many
does.
things and things pop in your head, but some people know with certainty what they're supposed to do. But I just want to say for those that's out there watching, please go on Amazon or go on her website and get her book. Please support her. I close my eyes to breathe. Ladies, we
Oh,
need to pause.
sister.
This is our season where God is saying, stop, get instructions. This road that you've been on, you need instruction for the next turn because you're going to come to a fork in the road. You're not going to know whether to go left or right. But if you stop, close your eyes, and just breathe, I'll give you the instructions that you need for your next.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So we're signing off. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You don't know how you bless me, how you bless everybody that's out there listening. Make sure y'all connect with her. Put something in the comments to let her know how what she said tonight has touched you. So we're signing off Facebook. We're done with y'all. We thank you. I'll be back next week at 8:30. But please make sure you support. Make sure you support. So y'all have a great and fantastic night.
Love ya. Bye, everybody. Thank you, Karen. I love you.
I
Y'all get on
love
that
you
AI
too.
train. Get on that AI class. I know I'm signing up. That's
Hey.
powerful. That's powerful.